Yeah. Well, that's great then. Good morning. You know I'm going to do this. We could do better than that. We're more awake than that. We're more energized than that. Good morning. Yes. I'm Laura Ettinger, she, her pronouns, and I look forward to sharing leadership of today's service with Rev Bran. Whoever you are, wherever you live, whomever you love, and however you may spend your days, you are welcome at the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg. We invite you to join us for coffee hour following this morning's service, either downstairs here at Clover Lane or on Zoom. And I invite you to take this moment to hold our space here as sacred by silencing our little electronic devices, preparing ourselves to be present. I just did that. Online or in person, we're grateful for this time together. I also wanted to remind everyone that today is a really special day in the life of UCH. After the service, UCH members will be voting on a proposition to call Rev Bran to be our settled minister. Right? Currently, Rev Bran is our minister by contract, with said contract set to expire this summer. So we have the opportunity to call Rev Bran to be our settled minister, which would have us enter in a more covenantal relationship, congregation and minister. It means we're voting to move forward with our shared ministry together for the foreseeable future. I'll talk more about that in my reflection later in the service. For anyone who is visiting us for the first time or is new to the congregation, I'm happy to chat after, as would any of our board members. I'd like to invite board members, they don't know about this, to rise and or give a hand wave so folks can easily identify you if they have questions. Thank you. Excellent. Yes, absolutely a round of applause for our board. So, thank you all. Now on with our service.
I will let my heart be silently drawn by the strange pull of what I truly love. Keep walking, keep singing, keep praying, keep trusting, keep on letting go into love. Keep walking, keep singing, keep praying, keep trusting, keep on letting go into love. Keep walking, keep singing, keep praying, keep trusting, keep on letting go into love. Each week, it is our tradition to light a chalice, which casts a circle of light to hold us all. As we create anew this symbol of our shared faith, let's reflect on these words by the Reverend Dan Schatz. When I speak of love, I do not mean romance, though this too deserves praise. I do not mean a warm feeling, though goodness knows we need warmth in bitter times. When I speak of love, I do not mean making friends, though I could use them. And I recognize only love creates friendship from the ashes of enmity. When I speak of love, I do not mean acquiescence, self-sacrifice, cheap forgiveness, or a false promise of perfection. No, the world is overfilled already with such easy sentiments. When I speak of love, I mean nothing more or less than opening to what is sacred in all of us, even when it is broken, even when it is hidden, even when it is inconvenient. This love transforms and illumines my heart. This love shapes my living. This love demands better of me always. This love brings me home when I have lost my way. So when I speak of love, please do not shake your head or smile in condescension. Instead, listen to your soul's own longing. Together, let us speak of love.
We affirm our mission to encourage, equip, and empower. And we ask that you join in the affirmation of our covenant with one another. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Good morning. So today's story is titled Love Z, and it's by Jesse Seba. On a bright, chilly day, Z went out looking for adventure and stumbled upon a piece of half-buried treasure. Inside was a message too smudgy to read except for 2 words at the bottom. Love, Beatrice. The young robot did not know what love meant or who Beatrice was, but they felt important, so Z tucked the treasure away and headed toward home. As night fell, all the robots prepared to power down and recharge for the next day. Z asked for a bedtime story, and a night light, and a goodnight kiss. Tucked snugly in bed, Z's thought drifted back to the important treasure. "What is love?" asked the young robot. "Does not compute," replied the old rusty robots. Then they said, "Sweet dreams," and turned out the lights. Alone in the dark, Z could not sleep. The other robots had always been able to answer Z's questions. If they did not know what love meant, who would? Maybe there was one person. In the morning, Z went out looking for Beatrice. "Hello, I am looking for Beatrice," explained Z. "I want to know what love is, and she will have the answer." "That sounds important," said the captain. "Climb aboard and we'll go on a quest." So they did. Unsure of how to start a quest, Z asked around, "Excuse me, are you Beatrice? Are you Beatrice? Hello, are you Beatrice?" "No," said a voice. "What's a Beatrice?" "We are on a quest to find out what love is," explained Z, "and Beatrice will have the answer." "I don't know any Beatrice," said the crow. "But to me, love is sharing your food even when it's delicious." That did not compute. But Z thanked the crow anyway and changed course toward a place with delicious food. The baker did not know Beatrice either, but she was happy to share what love meant to her. Love is when someone is patient and takes the time to teach you new things. That did not compute, but Z thanked the baker anyway and changed course toward a place with teachers. The kids at recess had lots of thoughts about what love meant. Love is butterflies. Love is sweaters. Love is lawn gnomes. Love is a million puppies. Love is wishing on a star. Love is snowflakes on my tongue. Absolutely none of these computed. But Z thanked the students anyway and had no idea what to go in search of. What if they never found Beatrice? What if love was something a robot could just not compute? Z was about to suggest that they change course toward home when they stumbled upon a good place to spend the night. "Hello, we are on a quest." "Oh, never mind. Hello, I'm Beatrice," said the woman. Z could not believe their luck. "What are you doing out here in the cold?" asked Beatrice. "Looking for you," explained Z. "I want to know what love is, and I thought you would have the answer." Beatrice paused to think. She thought and thought and thought some more. Love is difficult to explain. It's warm and cozy and safe. You'll know it when you feel it. Z hoped that she was right. "It's getting late," said Beatrice. "Let's get some rest." The young robot was prepared to power down and recharge for the next day. When the old rusty robots arrived unannounced. "Z, you were gone. We were worried. But we found you. We brought your favorite bedtime story and your nightlight and a goodnight kiss." Tucked snugly in bed, Z felt warm and cozy and safe. It was a feeling the young robot had felt many times before, but now it had a name. Love, Z. And now our kids will go downstairs.
When I was a kid, a small robot myself, my grandmother, whom I admired and adored, gave me a book called "Normal is Just a Setting on the Dryer." It was, what this says about me, I'm not going to reflect on. It was a small, square novelty book and each page contained an illustration and a pithy saying, mostly focused on life advice. The only page that I can still remember now read, "Figure out where you want to live and go live there, and the rest will follow." And I can still remember this because for some reason, I took this advice deeply to heart. And for some reason, I knew right away, even as a preteen, where I wanted to go live. I had visited Boston exactly once for a handful of days while my father was on assignment there. It was my first time flying alone, much less being left to my own devices for the better part of a week. I remember looking out the taxi window as we wove along Storrow Drive, gazing up at the brownstone buildings and feeling my heart do cartwheels. I was hopelessly in love. Boston was where I wanted to go live. So over a decade later, when I found myself meaningfully free for the first time, the phrase kept shouting in my mind, "Figure out where you want to live and go live there." And the pull was unignorable. I was going to Boston. And you know what? The rest did follow. Boston became the first place that ever felt like home to me. I discovered what it was like to be in community. I found friends and chosen family. I met my spouse. I became a music director. And then the next pull of love took hold. I left my beloved city to pursue a seminary degree and follow the call to ministry. All of my most meaningful crossroads in life have been like this, deeply intuitive, choosing love over fear. And certainly I have chosen fear at times as well, and that road inevitably leads nowhere. Similarly, I have at times mistaken other motivations for love, and consequently learned how to weather the disastrous fallout. Following the pull of real love, on the other hand, has never led me wrong. When Sable and I got engaged, it was a mutual, spontaneous conversation where we realized together that the way we wanted to live our lives was together. Choosing to come out as non-binary and pursue forms of medical transition were easy decisions once they became clear to me, compelled by love for myself as well as for the trans community. And when I first ambled into this building in the company of the search team, I found my heart doing those same cartwheels they did when I was a kid looking up at the Boston skyline. Following the pull of love feels amazing, except when it doesn't. We like to think of love as feeling good, right? Acting out of love should feel intuitive, connecting, uplifting, even thrilling. And those moments are wonderful and they make great stories, but they aren't the whole picture. Sometimes acting out of love feels like frustrating, humbling, terrifying ego death. Because sometimes, and perhaps even often, acting out of love means facing the parts of ourselves which hurt the most to look at. It often involves acknowledging harm we've done to others, lowering our defenses, admitting we are wrong, and living with the memories of our past mistakes, even as we work to act differently going forward. I would even venture to say that this is the most powerful and most important labor that a person can do. Following the pull of love, which asks us to learn new ways of being like this, comes with the added challenge of allowing ourselves to be changed in deep ways. Such change can feel threatening on so many levels. I'll give you another personal example. I have been aware to some degree for many years that I have the baked-in capacity to be manipulative and demanding. This is true. For a while, this capacity worried me quite a bit. I didn't always like the person that I was to others, but I couldn't figure out how to ensure I would behave differently. After years of observing myself and others, building up self-compassion practices and family systems awareness, it finally clicked for me. The real harm in the behavior I had learned centered around the habit of demanding that those around me assure me of and demonstrate their love to me. It suddenly seemed so obvious. You cannot berate others into loving you. It's just not possible. Even if they respond to your demands with assurances, those words will always feel hollow. Harmful actions stem from clawing to get our emotional needs met, from the sense of entitled grievance that some of us accrue from surviving our own mistreatment. But I realized, agency means that my actions matter. I discovered that I could strive to live in such a way that I was at peace with myself. I could strive to live in such a way that if love for me arose in others, my actions would not prove an impediment to it. Now, in the years since this realization, I have also experienced a pendulum swing in the wrong direction. Having no needs and requiring nothing from anybody is also not the answer. Thankfully, these days, I am more often than not in a state of equilibrium regarding the love that I give and receive. At times, I still have to make an effort to settle my own insecurities, but I think that's natural. Awareness seems to be a big part of the key. I believe that the core of my calling as a minister is to really and truly love the people I serve. Love them. Love you. In a way that isn't the same as friendship, family, neighborly, or, God forbid, romance. When I look at the people I serve, I think to myself, I hope that this person can sense the infinite, unconditional regard that I hold for them. It sometimes feels like my presence is meant to be a window into the vast, unending love which sings through all of existence. And to be honest, it's not always easy to love this way. I'm a human being, and while this is a calling, it's also my job. I have felt more than one frayed nerve during this long process of discernment about the future, mine and yours. Thankfully, there are always other clergy out there to remind me of what it's possible for us to be. Thanks to a variety of colleagues, I have found my way through our days together, accompanied by the inner imperative, love them. Whatever the future brings, I know that all I have to do is choose love, and that certainty helps me breathe easy. Here in this community, I want to invite you to practice this as well. Practice choosing love. Listen to your heart when it cartwheels. Find your center when love demands change, and reach for love to help you face the fear. As long as you follow this call, you will never find yourself alone.
Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife.
Let's join together now in the spirit of meditation, opening our hearts and minds to these words of prayer offered by the Reverend Rebecca Savage. Spirit of life, eternal beloved of mystery and grace, receive our prayer. We come before that which is greater than ourselves in gratitude for the fullness of our lives, for the anguish and grief that inform our mission to side with love again and again, for the suffering and disenfranchisement of our people that foment our passion for justice and wholeness, for complex lives, for hard lives, for real, full, and overwhelmed lives. We give thanks for the blessings that we have been given. The reassurance of community, the steady warmth of hope, and the unwavering faith that there will be better days. We give thanks and seek your grace. Spirit of love, come alongside with all the holy nudges that we need, so we may live in such a way that we celebrate all the blessings that we've been given, so we may be the blessings in the world. Amen, ashay, blessed be. Now is the time when we engage as a community in the sharing of our joys and sorrows, our concerns and our milestones. When we join together to hold each other in support and in celebration, we deepen our sense of interrelationship. We may find our sorrows eased and our joys magnified. I invite you to share them now through writing them on a slip of paper at the back of the room or typing them in the virtual chat. Please indicate whether your message is okay to share out loud. You can also honor whatever you're holding in your heart by placing a stone into the water of community. Please come down the center aisle, returning to your seats by the side aisles. Spoken or unspoken, our hearts join with yours in carrying all that life brings. I place a final stone into the water in honor of those who are with us in spirit today, but not in body. Miles shares with us, I am here in spirit only because I don't wish to give people something contagious. But I'm grateful that Rev Bran has been our minister for these years. Our friend Nancy, also known as Shalama, shares, I have the joy on being in Kilvet retreat with a Sufi community. I am thankful for the technology that allows me to also be with UCH on this hopefully auspicious day. Nancy also shares, I also have a sorrow to share as a friend's brother has died and he must travel home to Scotland, and that may allow the joy of caring for his 2-year-old son. We have an anonymous offering. My aunt passed away last Monday, and I say this not to receive condolences, but to give thanks that I had a Tia Nora. She gave me so much over the years, and I give thanks she is free now. Cordell shares with us, Larry Beyer is in renewed pain from his cracked spinal disc. It cracked during his fall, during his August stroke. The epidural he's had didn't offer full relief. He'll see his neurosurgeon this coming week. May that consultation prove to be as effective as your cheering messages and your help in our recent move to Bethany Village Retirement Community. Our hearts are with you and Larry. Mary Sebastian says, my mind was blown when a coalition on poverty asked me to speak at their conference. And the best part is they're paying me $1,000 for a 90-minute speech. That's huge. Mary says, wow, I'm so professional. Libby has 2 joys for us. One is for Darlene Kveternik, who had a birthday this week, and for being a great role model. And the other, it's Ahai was walking with the Buddhist monks in Alexandria and DC. It makes me want to do cartwheels and continue the walk for peace. Jeff and Joan share, we are so proud. Today, we are empty nesters. And we have an anonymous submission which says, I love this church. For all that has been shared and those many things we hold deeply in our hearts and yet remain unspoken, we journey with each other in love. Just so that you know, there is nothing wrong in this moment. When you breathe, can you touch? There is nothing wrong. I will hold for you, all is well in this moment. Relax and breathe, we've got your back. Love is scheming all along.
Just so that you know, there is nothing wrong in this moment. When you breathe, can you touch? There is nothing wrong. I will hold for you, all is well in this moment. Relax and breathe, I've got your back. Love is scheming all along.
You are well held. You are held. You are well held. You are held. You are well held. You are
When you breathe, can you touch? There is nothing wrong. I will hold for you, all is well in this moment. Relax and breathe, we've got your back. Love is scheming all along.
Just so that you know, there is nothing wrong in this moment. When you breathe, can you touch? There is nothing wrong. I will hold for you, all is well in this moment. Relax and breathe, we've got your back. Love is scheming all along. You know who you are when you stand in your power. You know how to live from your heart. You know how to think the truth, regardless of circumstance. This is your art. We know who we are when we stand in our power. We know how to live from our hearts. We know how to think the truth, regardless of circumstance. This is our art. We know who we are when we stand in our power. We know how to live from our hearts. We know how to think the truth, regardless of circumstance. This is our art.
Just so that you know, there's nothing wrong in this moment. When you breathe, can you touch? There is nothing wrong. I will hold for you, all is well in this moment. Relax and breathe, we've got your back. Love is scheming all along.
Just so that you know, there is nothing wrong in this moment. When you breathe, can you touch? There is nothing wrong. I will hold for you, all is well in this moment. Relax and breathe, we've got your back. Love is scheming all along.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. The World Has Need of You by Ellen Bass. I can hardly imagine it as I walk to the lighthouse, feeling the ancient prayer of my arms, swinging in counterpoint to my feet. Here I am, suspended between the sidewalk and the twilight, the sky dimming so fast it seems alive. What if you felt the invisible tug between you and everything? A boy on a bicycle rides by, his white shirt open, flaring behind him like wings. It's a hard time to be human. We know too much and too little. Does the breeze need us? The cliffs? The gulls? If you've managed to do one good thing, the ocean doesn't care. But when Newton's apple fell toward the earth, ever so slightly, fell toward the apple as well.
Good morning. I'm Karen Baker, and I serve on the UCH Board of Trustees. I'm here to represent the important labor and leadership that our members offer to keep this congregation thriving. The Unitarian Church of Harrisburg is, as always, an intentionally gathered congregation of freely thinking, loving people. The church is created, sustained, and supported by us. Each week, we take up an offering where we ask each other to share money to support the church. We also use half of this money to help a charity which is doing important work to improve the world. This month, we are sharing with the UUA Disaster Relief Fund. The Disaster Relief Fund is part of a covenant between the Unitarian Universalist Association and congregations, between congregations who give generously and those in need, and with our community partners. In just a moment, the greeters will start passing offering plates around. You can put cash or checks in the plate when it comes by. You can also donate online by scanning the QR code on the back of your order of service, or by visiting uchbg.org and scroll to the bottom of the page for options. Your financial support and commitment matter. Please consider giving what you're able. Thank you.
In 2006, I visited UCH for the first time when Dave and I knew we would be moving here. We were seeking community in a new place where we knew almost no one. I will tell you, that was the best decision we could have made. The seats we chose just happened to be behind the formidable Pam Dash, right? Who greeted us with her trademark warmth and joy. She introduced us around. She even took us around to show us where apartments were in the area because we didn't live here yet. So I fell pretty instantly in love with this congregation, with you all. So over the last 20 years, how has it been 20 years? What a love story this has been. Love and growth and community, much like romantic love, is imperfect and nonlinear, which makes it all so uniquely and beautifully human. When we learn how to be perfectly imperfect together and give grace to one another and the space to reflect and adjust, we become a meaningful force for good, not just within these walls, but in the wider world as well. With our history and the proposal for a shared ministerial future that members will be considering today, we can be that, a beacon of love and light. So I mentioned our history. To understand the fullness of our story and to contextualize a bit for our newer and longer-term members alike, I'm going to give a brief history from my memory and point of view. This is what I'm calling the search history of UCH. You'll understand why in a minute. For the first 6 years of my time with UCH, we had a settled minister. A settled minister is a minister that the congregation voted to call after a search process to serve as a permanent minister. This isn't until death do us part, but it is an expectation that the ministry will last at a minimum of 5 years. In 2013, our settled minister decided it was time for him and for the congregation to experience new ministry. Since 2013, UCH has had a mix of interim and contract ministers working with us. Yes, 13 years. This is not a typical trajectory for a congregation to be continually in transition, to be continually in search. So our history includes fairly remarkable resilience that has allowed us to build trust and a joyful, loving community because we have a steadfast, if imperfect, love that underpins our work together. In 2013, our ministerial transition period began. As a side note, my first year serving on the board was 2012 to 2013. Nothing like diving right in. UCH had an interim minister join us to help us through the search process and the gap between ministerial leadership. Interim ministers serve typically 2 years with a congregation. As one of our interims said, they come to us pre-fired. So they're there to do all the things a settled minister would do, but their true gifts lie in guiding through ministerial transition time. Together with our interim minister, we formed a search committee made up of some truly wonderful people in our congregation. The board reached out to membership and solicited suggestions and formed a dream team based on that. The search committee met regularly for a year, carrying out an intensive process set forth by the UUA, that's Unitarian Universalist Association, to select a candidate minister for the congregation to consider for settled ministry. More on that in a minute. Our fabulous search committee brought to us prospective new ministry, and for a variety of complex reasons, none of which are issues now, we were unable to secure new settled ministry. That sent shockwaves through the congregation, division and heartbreak, and a disquiet over the uncertain future we were staring down. Where do we go from here? What we did? We set up listening sessions over that summer for folks to come and share what they were feeling so we can figure out how to begin healing some of the fractures. We didn't look away. We did not try to bury the hurt. We worked on dealing with it with intention and compassion. And folks showed up, wanting to engage. Seriously, 100 people over the summer came to talk, to have hard conversations. The board hired a new interim minister who helped us keep working through and create new systems and processes to help us sustain our ministry as we move forward. Honestly, setting up processes for engagement based on feedback and issues identified, it's a powerful way to sow the seeds of love for community. This is the time when our worship team was created. That minister was with us for a couple of years. Then, enter our third interim, who was with us for 1 year. The year we formed a new search committee, like the first, a dream team. That year I was serving as board president. Search committees are tasked with, after hours, days, weeks of interviews and in-person meetings and hearing prospective ministers preach, meeting them, sometimes their families, and they select their top 4 candidates. Then they wait to see which ministers select them as well. It's a matching game, in a sense. That year, none of our selections matched with us. The search process for us, once again, met with intense disappointment. But the search committee met with the board and presented the issues that had been identified in search, and we started to work through them. We didn't brush it off. We reflected and kept going. My board service ended at the same time we decided to hire a contract minister. Interims could only be with us 2 years, and we needed someone who could be longer term to help us figure out next steps. He was with us for a few years, and we put together another search committee. I was no longer on the board, so was invited to and accepted the opportunity to be on Search Committee 3.0. And this was in 2020 into 2021. Yes, we had a search during COVID because we are not ones to shy away from challenge, apparently. And the folks I had the pleasure to work with on that committee were nothing short of fully devoted to the care and growth of UCH. This search brought with it a successful call to ministry, followed by profound disappointment and heartbreak when, after only a year in, the minister we called was arrested for deeply troubling offenses. The UUA stepped in and helped us through that tumultuous and difficult time. As a congregation, what we did not do, we did not blame each other. No one pointed fingers at the search committee. We laid the blame where it belonged, at the feet of the perpetrator. We met with, talked through, worked through it. We decided together that another search was not realistic. And we were so incredibly fortunate that two beautiful retired ministers came out of retirement and worked with us as contract ministers for the next couple of years, which brings us nearly to the present. We decided to forego the formal search process. God bless the board. If you don't believe in God, doesn't matter. And the board entered into a contract with Rev. Bran, a contract to call ministry which set forth our intention to have settled ministry in the future, if that was mutually beneficial for minister and congregation. An excellent decision all around, in my opinion. I'm very much not a fan of the traditional search process, as you probably gathered by my framing of our history. But there's more. That opinion goes far beyond my personal experience with the search. The traditional search and call process for UU ministers is akin to having a team of dedicated matchmakers spend a year selecting a potential spouse for the congregation, and then the full congregation gets to decide if they want to marry the selected spouse over the course of 1 week-long round of essentially speed dating. It gives married at first sight. Not ideal. Joking aside, the main reason I don't like the search process for called ministry is it does not allow for the building of relationship between congregation and minister. Members are asked to make a commitment decision based on a feeling of initial euphoria. During the honeymoon phase, where everything is shiny and new, it's one giant first impression, and no one's comfortable enough to really be authentically themselves because it's not really our default as humans. Also, there's no time to really understand how the minister works with the community as a whole. And as I wrote the history section of this reflection, a pattern emerged. We are at our best when we are working for our collective good, for the good of the UCH community. When we are making decisions based not on how we alone perceive a person or an idea. Which is why our unique situation today is so lovely. We have had the luxury of time over the last 18 months to get to know Rev. Bran and to also get to see who we are as a congregation with Rev. Bran, what our shared ministry looks like. We have this gift of having had the opportunity to build relationships with one another and see how we are in community with one another. We also had a wonderful task force that held multiple community conversations to gauge the needs and dreams of the congregation, where we are in this moment in time. I attended the gathering held for past presidents of the board. I was so impressed with and not surprised by the preparation and the questions and the conversation. This is the UCH community that we have built. It's one of hope and love and intention and consideration. We are not perfect, and we never will be. But perfection's not the goal. It never needs to be the goal. Being present for each other, working for the good of the community, showing up for one another, and having a shared ministry that allows for that, those are the goals. Working with Rev Bran as part of their ministry formation team, and working with Bran leading worship today, and all the other times I've had the privilege of working with them, I see them embody the values of the congregation and reflect our mutual growth and lead with love. Always, always leading with love. Sharing ministry with Rev Bran these last 18 months, we are seeing all the ways we can grow together, how we are able to collaborate and celebrate one another, hold one another. We are seeing how we can support each other in times of trial and uncertainty when the world is burning. Rev Bran is showing us how we can regulate and stabilize ourselves in community each week, sending us out into the wider community to be our best selves, even when it's hard. Being a part of UCH is a commitment to living fully into our delightfully flawed humanity, to giving each other grace, and for doing what we believe to be the best for the collective good always, to feel that strange pull of love and to lead from there always. May it be so.
Microphone. Keep walking, keep singing, keep praying, keep trusting, keep on letting go into love. Keep walking, keep singing, keep praying, keep trusting, keep on letting go into love. Keep walking, keep singing, keep praying, keep trusting, keep on letting go into love. Keep walking, keep singing, keep praying, keep trusting, keep on letting go into love. Keep walking, keep singing, keep praying, keep trusting, keep on letting go into love. Keep walking, keep singing, keep praying, keep trusting, keep on letting go into love.
Wanted to give everyone a little reminder. Yes, keep walking. Do not walk out that door. we want you all to grab some coffee and then come back at noon for the meeting. Thank you.
These benediction words are attributed to the poet Rumi. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray.
Amen.